I stepped onto the porch as the sun dropped below the distant tree line. I inhaled the scents of just-turned soil and the smoke from the farmers' hearths. The farmland around Velstyn felt peaceful at twilight. Though the nights had been quiet since we sealed the feral dungeon a couple of weeks ago, none of us believed the tranquility would last. I had grown accustomed to living on the brink of danger. Another threat lurked. We had returned to this hamlet after the local farmers insisted that we keep an eye on stray monsters. They had set up comfortable quarters for us in a barn extension near a damaged oak fence. Elara and Nyxara joined me in the yard, looking relaxed. I was struck by their presence every time we gathered like this. 2 warriors by my side, each beautiful in her own way. Elara's half-elf heritage gave her an unearthly grace, and her light brown hair was accented by subtle, shimmering streaks. She was simply dressed in a travel-worn tunic, but she exuded regal confidence. When she saw me watching her, she gave the playful smile that made my heart pound. Nyxara was all sharp edges and danger. Her dark elf skin set off her white hair, which arched over her pointed ears. She carried herself with a swagger that turned heads and started fights in rowdy taverns. If anyone teased me about traveling with 2 gorgeous women, they'd get more than a shrug. Let them stare. There were perks in my current life, and staying alive was the biggest one. I adjusted the strap on the scabbard at my hip. Reforged by the dwarves, my short sword rested in it. The blade from my grandmother was my favorite, and I wore it on my back. Even if that family connection begged questions about my mysterious lineage, I felt safer when it was in reach. Nyxara let out a breath. "Ready for a stroll around these fields?" she asked, her eyes glinting in challenge. "Will be fun if we see more boars. My blades enjoyed the last run-in." Elara nodded and brushed her belt, to which a pouch of medicaments and a slender dagger were secured. "We promised the farmers we'd check the edge of the orchard. They're complaining about noises at night." She turned to me, her lips curving up. "I figure it's wolves. I guess we'll see." I returned her smile. "All right, one last sweep before we call it a night." I glanced at the farmhouse behind us. We would go to the barn's loft after the patrol ended. The thought of a bath, or even a bucket of warm water, set me to daydreaming, but duty called. We set off down a narrow dirt path between fields of young corn. The sun's final rays cast long shadows across the land. The breeze here carried the mingled scents of clover and livestock. Despite the farm's calm facade, unease rippled through me, and my instincts had saved my life too many times to ignore.